Hi, everyone. Welcome to the latest Carson's Take 5 with Ryan and Sonu. Sonu, we're going to call this one, Do Stocks Care About an Election? It is an election year.
What's the short answer?
Yeah, isn't that, okay, sorry. I got the timer there. Let's see here. Do you think they care? I mean, should we? I've seen a lot of people, Sonu, that have been very, very worried about what's going to happen, this coming November and even leading up to it, what might happen with who's in the White House and the makeup of Congress, all that stuff. What's your take? How worried should we be?
Short answer, no. Which is not to say policy and government and all that doesn't matter. It matters, right? But it's a much longer term thing. Short term, no. I think that's pretty safe to say.
Well, that good. Should we just stop now, or you want to keep going for another 4 minutes? Let's keep going. Yeah. By the way, a lot of people might hear this on April Fool's Day, so I was going to make some April Fool's joke about politics, but I'm never going to go there. I think I'm going to get myself in trouble. I do have a good quote though here. I want to make sure I read it correctly. Will Rogers, he said, "I don't make jokes. I watch the government and report the facts." I think that's a pretty good little one there. Now, here are some facts for you, Sonu. The last 10 presidents in an election year who were up for re-election. So think first-term president, like we're right now. The S&P 500 has been higher. Are you ready for this? The last 10 times, up 12.2% on average. So listen, we're going to have some volatility. Yes, most election years, you get ahead of the election, you've had volatility. We've seen that the last couple elections also. But the truth is, if the economy is strong, when you get into that, it doesn't really matter who's in the White House. I know that sounds crazy to say, but I think it is so important for people to remember. What might matter more, so I'm bringing you in, is the makeup of Congress. When you have a split of Congress, the House one party and the Senate the other, the last 13 times the S&P's been higher. What the market doesn't like is a big red wave or a big blue wave, too much power one way or the other. Like our forefathers wanted it hundreds of years ago, that checks and balances, that to get anything through. Think what's gotten through lately, right? Things we really agree on. Yeah. Infrastructure, CHIPS Act, some of these things that made sense. What do you, so those are hopefully some things that calm some people right now. We think when this is all said and done, we'll still probably have a divided Congress, to be honest, which again, historically is positive. What other things should we know about for an election year?
I think the checks and balances is an important thing because the pendulum can shift a lot one way, but then I think Americans pull it back. I mean, here's a nice quote by Winston Churchill, who said, "Americans will always do the right thing after they've tried everything else." So it just goes to show, like, irrespective, like we can get, really worked up over certain things, but over time, look, the economy is strong. That's the big picture. The Fed is no longer raising interest rates. In fact, we are talking about cutting interest rates.
Yep.
And that's what really matters because profits come from the economy. And if the economy is growing, profits are likely to be good. Productivity is going higher. Yep. So that's good for profit margins as well and wage growth. So there's demand in the economy. All of that's positive, and that should be positive for the markets, irrespective of who wins the election.
Well said. We talked about productivity a couple of weeks ago when I was in the back of a cab in New York City, and we talked about why we haven't seen strong productivity in a while, but we're seeing it, and that's a positive. And listen, who's in the White House, the makeup of Congress, is that really happening? Because are we seeing stronger productivity because of that? We say no. Right? We have an emphatic no. Emphatic no. Let me see it time-wise. We've got about a minute and a half or so to go here. One of the things, again, just to we get to work every day with our Carson partners and their clients, and we hear all the time, literally every day, like every day I'm hearing this stuff, about the election, what's it mean, what's going on. I'll just put it like this. A lot of people did not like President Obama. Stock market did really well. A lot of people did not like President Trump. Stock market did really well. A lot of people don't like President Biden. Stock market's like at all-time highs, right? So, again, I think it's just really important to separate your political beliefs from your investments. If the economy is strong, like we've laid out in these Take Fives for a very long time now, that can make up for a lot of sense. Now, Son, I'll let you have the final word. One more quote. This is probably my favorite quote. George Carlin. Rest in peace, George Carlin. A lot of stuff he said I couldn't probably say on this particular video, family video. I can say this one. And George Carlin said this: in America, anyone can become president, and that's the problem. That's a good one. All right, so 30 seconds to go. Let's wrap it up for everybody. Talking about an election year, why it matters, sure, but maybe not for your investments. Wrap it up.
Now, look, I think this is a quote from Brian Detrick. This is a quote from you.
I wonder what that guy said.
It's not about red, it's about green. That's what it is, right? And look, a few things are not likely to see some good stories. irrespective of who becomes president. I think defense spending continues to rise.
Yes.
The U.S. is still likely to remain the world's largest oil producer, right? Which is hard to believe, like considering where we were 20, even 15 years ago. Production's hitting new records month after month. Again, irrespective of who's president, right? That's happening. And then the dollar is likely to remain strong. Everyone worries about, is the dollar going to, is the dollar's supremacy going to end? Is China going to use their yuan, Russia, something else? No, that's not going to happen anytime soon because everyone wants to sell goods to the Americans and they take dollars in return. They're very happy with dollars.
Well said. I mean, things will change after the election, but what's really important, maybe things that aren't going to change, and you just listed some of those. So everyone, thank you for listening to the latest Carson's Take 5. Again, we talked about, do stocks care about an election? Probably not. We'll see everybody next week. Take care. Thank you.